Hi, welcome to Tuesday Talk. I am playing with fire tonight, so I'm going to do something that I remember from my youth. Um, I'm trying to get a little ahead of the game here, but so Aleene's Tacky Glue, that's been around for a long time, and I remembered this craft that they used to burn paper bags after they put the glue on it to make it look like metal. So that's what we're trying tonight. And I looked it up a little bit, and lo and behold, they have Aleene's YouTube channel, and they refer to her as Mama Aleene. She's not anymore making videos. I don't even know if she's still alive, but her two daughters, Heidi and I want to say Tiffany or Tracy. It starts with a T. But anyway, they are carrying on the crafting tradition, and they refer to her as Mama Aleene. So the videos that I looked at, though, were about 6 years old, and they said they were totally tacky, and I don't know what the other thing was, delightfully something. But anyway, that is what we're going to try to do tonight. So a little scary, a little exciting, but I did experiment already with it, so I'm not afraid anymore. So I have to point out the lemon shirt today, and I posted this on my Instagram, but I was totally matchy-matchy with my mask today. So there we go. Good to be home and not have to wear a mask. Okay, so I just want to catch you up from last week. So last week we were making molds with amazing mold putty. I'm trying to see where my mold is. And then I tried casting a couple different materials. So here's the one that I did with the paper clay. That one didn't work so well. As you see, this really wouldn't, adhere to something and stay flat. Might be fun to do some art with, though, because it's all bent up. But here's the one that I used the 2-part epoxy with, the Amazing Casting Resin, and I put the patina paint on it. I just love the way it turned out. Now, obviously, this is going to be up against something, but I'm going to finish drilling these holes out. I actually think you could really use this on a door, because the knob is going to be the functioning part, and there'll be screws in it. You could, glue it into place and screw it, and I think it would work. But I think it will be really cool in doing some signs too and some art. So I was pretty pleased with that. I actually showed it to my son this week, and he thought it was real. So and this is the original one that I made the mold with. So okay, so that was catching you up on last week. So this craft that we're doing again is with paper bags. So I have one that I started already, and here's what it looks like so far. And I'm really impatient, so I guess I should have tried it sooner, but it needs to dry, I guess, a little bit. I see it happening, but I am gonna bring the flame back, okay, and hold this down a little bit. And then I'll do one from start to finish too. So I figured a star would be good. So you just hold it above the flame. Like I said, I'm going to do one start to finish, but I want to try to dry this one up a little bit more so that I can put gilding wax on it and really make it look like metal. So it's kind of like toasted marshmallows, only you have to remember it is paper. So I guess 50 years ago, they were testing this Aleene's Tacky Glue for flammability, and that's when they realized that you could indeed get a metal effect and it would burn. So the ones that I was looking at, the videos that I was looking at that are more recent, they also did it on a couple different surfaces, well, wood. So I'm going to actually try it on paper clay tonight. So you never know what you're going to get here. But Okay, so this is what this looks like now. Kind of looks like metal. And then it's getting shiny. But then the more I do it, the more glue pops out. So I have to keep kind of going over it. So I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. I guess it's just like anything else. You experiment with it and find out. So I'm going to set this over here and let that continue to dry. Okay, so I have somebody watching. If you are on and you want to comment, that would be awesome. Say hi. So I have a couple shapes cut out here. One of them I glued together already. So you take a couple layers. You're just recycling paper bags, which I'm trying to do because of all the ordering that we've been doing from the grocery store. And you just glue these together. Now, I also think that you'd get a more stable product if you took 3 layers, maybe. So if I decide to continue with this, that might be something to think about. But anyway, here's one that I did glue together. So that one's drying. And what I did to get the shapes was I just took these stencils and I just stenciled the shape on, and I did let the paint dry. But here's what I thought, to do stars and, that rustic kind of primitive look is kind of over. So I thought, here's my favorite rusty thing is a truck. So I cut out a couple of those. So we'll try something bigger and see how this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 parts together, and then we'll put glue on the flower and try that one. I did not put a wire in the flower, but I'm going to actually, with the bird, I'm going to put 2 wires in between, and that'll be his legs. And later on, if I want to add other pieces. So I'm just taking some wire I got at the craft store and just going to cut 2 pieces with my jewelry tools. Okay, and that way I have something to hold on to, and it sort of looks like his legs. Okay, so I have been keeping this upside down so that it comes out better. And they use their fingers when they do it. I'm just gonna use a brush because it's kind of hard to do stuff with the computer and have your hands all wet with glue. I'll still get glue on them, I'm sure, anyway. Okay, so putting that aside for the moment. Like I said, just take an old brush because I'm totally throwing this away when we're done with this. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Mine's going pretty well so far. Okay, I guess I should have this down here so you can see what I'm doing. But I put glue on the bird. And now I'm going to put these, I almost forgot the legs. But I'm just going to lay these in here. So if you're old enough to remember the Aleene's tacky glue, if you remember this procedure, then you also remember the Partridge Family. And that's what this bird reminds me of with the legs. So I should have probably chosen a different surface to work on because I don't want to glue the pieces to my paper. So I'm going to let this dry just a tad before I do the outside of it. Okay, so it's kind of cute. Okay, I'm going to leave the camera down. And so I'm going to, this piece I already glued together. And again, I just used this stencil to get the shape. Not that I couldn't have probably drawn that one, but so the glue goes on both sides of it. And again, I did not put a wire in this one. So I'm probably going to just use a pair of jewelry pliers to hold it with. I don't know how good of an idea that is or not, but we'll find out. So I'm being pretty generous with the glue. I'm just going to use the brush and spread it around to the edges. Okay. And again, I am experimenting a lot, so stuck to my bag. So I think that we should do both sides at the same time. I'm going to set this on this little scrap here. Okay, depending on how these projects go, I may or may not do the truck tonight, but I'll definitely finish it. I always like to finish these projects and then I post them on my Instagram and Facebook accounts. When I have 1,000 subscribers, I can use the community feature on YouTube and update you there. But I have 225, so we're getting there. Okay, so bringing the candle back over. I'm going to put this up a little bit because I'm not sure what you're able to see. Okay, like I said, I didn't put a wire in this one, so I'm just going to use these jewelry pliers and just start burning it. Now I did let this one dry more when I glued the two layers together, and it feels a little more sturdy. The star, I just kind of did everything all at once. So, and again, I really feel like 3 layers would be much better. So you can see already that that's starting to get soot on it. Okay, I'm just going to keep flipping it. I'm going to move these to more to the middle. Okay. I do have a wet paper towel here for my little fingers because I'm going to be peeling glue off of them, I can tell. And I'm not even using my fingers to spread the glue around. Okay, so you can see it's getting pretty black. So you're just kind of putting this right at the top of the candle. Kind of the more I do it, the more daring I get, but I was a little nervous about it at first, especially doing it for the first time on live, but I did experiment a little right before I went on. My husband was outside and I thought he would come in and say, "What are you doing?" And it doesn't smell or anything. They said work in a well-ventilated area just because of the soot, but honestly, there's really nothing. And I figured they were in a studio, so. Okay, see how it's getting black? Okay, it's getting really black on this side. The one I have in the flame. And the other side you can see still has some glue areas. So I'm going to keep working that and I'll flip it. So I find then when I flip it like that, then more glue surfaces. Like it starts to get wet again or something. Not sure how this all works. But I just want to be able to get one done enough that I can do put the gilding wax so we can see it really look like metal. And I also have to do my experiment with the paper clay. Do you remember a couple weeks ago we were doing molds and we were talking about the egg and dart mold, and I can't throw anything away. So this went down the spine of my book, and I just had this little piece of egg and dart mold left. So I'm going to try that on the paper clay. I figure, hey, paper bags, paper clay. And they did it on wood, which is, you know, what paper's made of. So I think it's going to work. I'm confident. My phone's right here if we need to call 911. Okay, so this is looking pretty good, I think. It's just where my, I'm going to set it on here to try and pull my little jewelry pliers off and kind of get the area where my pliers were. Okay, so again, it's getting really charred, but then I see around the edges where the glue starts to surface again. So I don't know whether you should let it completely dry or not. Whenever you do the whenever the glue that holds the layers together, I don't know whether that should be completely dry or not. But you can see they said it was okay if some of the areas pull up to reglue it. So anyway, we're going to let this one dry. They do say to pat off some of that soot. So I'm going to let that one sit a little bit and then put the candle aside for a minute. And okay, so we have our bird drying. I'm going to let that dry a little bit more. And let's go a little crazy. Okay, let's do another experiment. Where is it? I cut a couple trucks out, and then the one had a label on the back, so I was afraid to use it. So I'm going to put that one in the middle. I'm going to sandwich the three of these together because I just think it would be sturdier with three. So I'm going to start that process, and then we'll experiment with the paper clay mold. And maybe I'm using too much glue in the middle. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue for the layers. And maybe that'll make a difference. Maybe it'll dry quicker because maybe the other ones are just too soggy. With anything, it's trial and error. So I'm sure Mama Aileen had to experiment a few times before she perfected this craft and shared it with other people. All right, so we got one layer. So I'll put the one with the sticker on it in the middle. And that should really give it some extra stability. I'm excited about this because you know me and my trucks. That's my logo, and every edited video I have always has the truck coming in from the side. And this stencil, I didn't put any of the details in because I figured it's not going to matter. And I think this is sticking to my surface here. Yeah. I know I'm going to put glue on it anyway, but I don't want it to dry so fast. So tacky glue does dry pretty quickly, and it holds really well. It's got a really good bond, but they also have a formula called Fast Tack. Now, I've never used it, but I might try that because it's always kind of nice. I don't love using hot glue, like very much at all. It's quick, but it's not a long-lasting hold. when I had my store in Juniata, people would make wreaths and bring things in, and there were big sunny windows. And after a while, things would just come off of the wreaths and stuff if they used hot glue, because the sun would just warm up the glue, and there you go. So I think this one is going to work better because it's just more sturdy. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then we'll come back to that. Okay, so you ready for the big experiment? So I think I should really coat this one. Again, this is Egg and Dart mold that is made from paper clay. And it would be really cool if this ended up looking like metal. And I could use gilding waxes on it. By the way, Dixie Belle is going to release a new gilding wax real soon, like in the fall. And also, I have become a redesign with Prima retailer. So they have a bunch of cool waxes and pastes and all kinds of stuff. So look for lots of fun stuff coming up and experimentation. I don't know whether to coat both sides of this or not. I guess so. Feel like a bit of a mad scientist. Okay, and again, I'm going to use the jewelry tool. Get my flame back here. So this one's totally experimental. Maybe never been done before. The Evel Knievel of crafting. I hope the detail comes out in this, like the egg and dart detail. I think that'd be really cool. Well, so far so good. It's not burning. Okay. If you come on, don't be afraid to say hi. Throw me a comment. Might not be able to answer you back right away because I might not see it while I have the screen down. So if you're just tuning in, we are experimenting with an old technique that Aleene's developed a long time ago, making paper bags look like metal using their tacky glue. And I'm taking it another step here, and I have a little mold that I made a couple weeks ago, and it just was a leftover piece of a mold, and I'm just trying it because I figure, hey, paper bag, paper molds, paper clay. That one's pretty dark. That worked pretty well. So I'm going to let it sit a little bit. They do tell you to wipe off some of the soot. Okay, this one works really well. I see a whole jewelry line happening. It kind of, I don't know if you can see that. I don't see the egg and dart details so much. It kind of burnt that away. So, I don't know. This still might look like a pretty cool piece when it's all said and done. We'll have to see. Okay, lay that down here. Wow, you never know what you're going to get on live video. People come close to the camera. Oh, okay. So here's my truck. I am going to go ahead and take some glue and work with this a little bit. Then we'll come back to the bird. I also am wondering about trying one side at a time and see if that would work, but I don't know. That's when I think it might catch fire. And that would not be cool. Okay, they usually use more glue than this, so we'll see. Maybe it'll go faster if I use less glue or catch fire. One or the other. All right, so I have a lot less glue on than I have done before. I don't know whether to put it on both sides. I'm gonna try just doing one side and then the other. So again, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. This is different because it's a real big piece. So I don't know how this is gonna work out, but we'll give it a whirl. This one may take a while because it's bigger, and I'm probably going to have to get something else to hold the other side. So I'm going to come back and revisit this one. I'm going to work on this one throughout the week and give you the results on that one. Let's do the bird because I can hold on to the wires with that one. Or the legs, which are made out of wire. This would be a really cute little plant stake or something. Although I don't know how well it will weather outside, but on your porch or in your house, it'd be really cute. I am going to do both sides, so I'm just going to kind of keep it in the air to put the glue on. I don't know how well the glue in the middle dried, but I think better than the other one because I let it go a little bit longer. As long as my wires don't come out, I'll be okay. Okay, this brush has about had it. All right, into the fire. So like I said, it's just like toasting marshmallows, kind of. It's just starting to get some soot on it. I move it around pretty fast, so maybe I should slow down a little. Yeah, that definitely works a little better. My legs are a little unstable. They twist a little bit. I was also afraid this would get hot and the wire would get hot and my fingers would burn, but I guess as long as I'm just burning the bag and not the wire, then it's not going to conduct the heat. I feel guilty. I hear birds outside. Of course, this isn't a real bird. It just made me feel guilty, like I'm burning a bird. I know, I'm a little crazy. So I hope that you guys are going to have a good summer. I don't know what's going to happen, whether we're going to have round 2 of COVID or a different strain or what's happening, but just pray for the best. That's all. That's all we can do. Take precautions. Yeah, my legs are a little wobbly. They keep twisting around, but I mean, they're not coming out, but it's just they're just one wants to go one way and one wants to go the other way. Okay, this guy needs some more work too. Doo-doo-doo. This candle smells really good. One of my vendors gave it to me. It really smells great. Okay, so it's pretty well charred on both sides. So I'm going to let it sit a little. I'm going to take the paper towel and just kind of dab it off a little bit. I can see where that, I guess it's the strokes in the glue that gives you some texture, that the wax or whatever you use to give it the metallic finish. So maybe that's why my paper clay one isn't looking so good, because it doesn't, I put more texture on it and it already had texture on it. So, and hey, that's what experimenting's all about. I can still see it a little bit, the texture in it. I think it'll actually look cool with some, yeah, some gilding wax or something like that. I'm just looking at my nails like, I don't know whether that's glue or whether I melted them. That's not cool. Okay, so bird's gonna dry. Have a little container over here. I'm putting them in. Okay, so this one still feels a little wet, a little tacky, but not too bad. So just gonna kind of wipe it off a little bit and see if we can get some wax on this. So I have some gilding wax in Anastasia, which is a reddish color. So I'm just gonna use that. I don't think it's dry enough because it's taken off some of that glue. Okay, well, clearly this is a project that needs some more time and attention. But I'm glad I'm able to do things live. So who do I have watching with me? Glad I'm able to do some of this stuff live, but it's not always going to work, I guess. But I have been on 35 minutes, so I'm probably going to sign off here. And I hope that you'll come back. So this is Tuesday Talk. We do this every week at 8 o'clock. And then on Saturdays, I have Step by Step at 4 o'clock. And that's an edited video. And also this month, during June, I am doing a video every day. So far, so good. We've made it till the 15th, midway, or 16th. So midway through the month, and I've done a video every day. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up. But I also thought of things for that I can do in the future. So I always say that I create my own craziness. So I guess that's true. So listen, I want to thank you so much. I feel like a fairy godmother holding this star, but I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you come back and join me again, and subscribe to the channel if you would. That would be awesome. I will give you fairy dust and comment. So let me know if you liked it. So there wasn't much to like because I didn't finish any of the projects, but I will follow up on my Instagram and my Facebook and let you know. And maybe next week on Tuesday Talk, I'll show you the finished projects too. Thanks for watching and have a good night.